we'll kick off with Joel. If you've got anything to ask his opinion on.
Well, obviously we're recording this on bonfire night, the night after Liverpool dispatched Real Madrid 1-0. There were some contentious decisions in that game. Joel, I'm sure you watched it.
Yeah.
I think we all seen the penalty incident, or the non-penalty incident from then became a drop ball. What was your take on that?
Interesting one, that, wasn't it? So he gave the free kick first, didn't he? For handball. Then after a bit of a review, he decided he was going to look for a penalty. So he goes over to the monitor. You think we're all getting a penalty because of how VAR ends up working. Comes back on the pitch, does his signal, decides it's a drop ball. What he's done there is it was confusing at the time because I've never actually seen him give a free kick, review it, what looks like a penalty, and then give a drop ball. So he's totally reversed the decision from free kick to penalty to drop ball. So he's checking for, well, first of all, whether it was in the box or not. So that's the first VAR check that we all thought was happening, and me as well. And then he's gone, hang on, it's in the box. It's not actually handball. For me, that was handball. The way, whatever else think of it, like the way he's going, he's got his arm out, hasn't he?
The European aspect.
Yeah. They're a bit more sensitive to it, I think, though, than the Prem. I think you get away with a little bit more in the Prem. With was it Michael Keane on Monday night against Sunderland? Could have easily been given that, but that was deemed not a penalty as well. The Tchouaméni one last night, was there a bit of contact on his knee as well? First, that might have mitigated it a little bit. But yeah, I personally think it's handball, and not just me being a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, I think as you said there, and I guess there's confusion between the Prem and Champions League. So the referees, and we've seen penalties like in the past where the referees seem to give it a lot more to handball, regardless of the position of the arms and so on and so forth. And obviously, Joel, you've spoken quite well about in the Premier League. It's a case of, you're either a seagull or a penguin. And if you're a penguin, you're safe. If you're a seagull, you're not. So that mitigates that one. I think especially in the Champions League, we have to. Sorry.
You might have to explain that one to Kurt, or you'll have to listen to a previous episode.
Yeah.
I think I get it.
So we are.
Have you got your arms up? Have you got your arms down?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think we've definitely seen handball decisions given in the Champions League, which are far more lenient than the criteria for the Prem. And I think that was the main surprising thing about it. I think for me, and myself, Colin, and a few of the other lads were talking about this on the group chat last night, there's absolutely nothing he can do to avoid that. That ball is it. It's so much pace, and at a relatively close distance, even if it is away from his body, and it shouldn't be. The players should be attuned to that now. But even if it is, he's got very little reaction time to move out the way, while still attempting a block on the ball, which you would expect him to do. If he didn't go in advance to the ball or try to block it, you'd be up in arms as a supporter because they've not tried to defend the ball. So I think for me, it's a bit of a difficult one in that sense. You'd expect the defenders to go for it. There's very little reaction time. But the rules, from what we understand in the Champions League, should be much more about, it's a lot more clear cut. And if it's a handball, it's a handball. And that's that, depending on where it is as part of your body.
Yeah, I think I'll go back to that. It might have seen that it's come off his knee a little bit. Not as much as it's like bounced up vertically from him, but he's probably taken into account that reaction time. His arm was quite close to his body. It is a little bit away. It's not like he's gone down like that, has he? Did you see Van Dijk winding him up when they were defending the free kick that we scored off? And he was going, you can save it.
And there was a bit of banter with Courtois as well, because Courtois was making all the saves, and he said, you must remember the final and stuff, and thought,
unbelievable from Courtois to be fair. Kept them in it. Could have been 3 or 4, couldn't it?
Well, that was the main stat that we seen today, wasn't it? Since I shared it with some of the lads, and gosh, let me just find it very quickly. Since the start of the 2022 final, 23% of the saves Thibaut Courtois has made in the Champions League have been against Liverpool. Now that is a stat.
Wow.
In 3 years, unbelievable. So yeah,
they've gone
that's
all the way a few times since then as well, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's my take. That's Joel's take. What about the rest of the lads? Cole, what did you think?
I normally agree with Joel, but I don't think it was a penalty. That's coming from a Liverpool supporter. I think unless you want players running around with their hands tied behind the back, I mean, he turns his back, which he should never do. But he hit it that hard and with that much pace and such a short distance. He turns away. I don't know what he's meant to do with his arms, where he's meant to put it. Unless he's got them completely behind his back tied and he's running around. For me, definitely not a pen. And I normally agree with Joe, but I'm saying no to that one. That's as a Liverpool supporter.
Fair enough. I probably said it because I was frustrated with how long it took for him to give it. I'm going, well, he's given it, hasn't he? He's gone over.
It's also because it's Real Madrid as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
They get the lion's share of the decisions, don't they, Real Madrid?
Yeah, that was the shout last night, wasn't it? Let's just give a drop ball because it's Real Madrid, but they can do that. You just don't see it happening.
I fucking hate Real Madrid. Always have. Always have. Kurt, I don't know whether you got a chance to see it, buddy. What was your take on
it? I like if that happened in the Premier League, I kind of agreed with you. I thought after it got shown in the box from some of the stuff I've seen in Europe, just in general, I thought they were just going to give that because they genuinely give some crazy handball ones. I thought the one in like if any of you saw Barca Real Madrid the other day, they gave that handball on the guy who slid in, won the tackle, and he's raised his hand to put it down to get up. And it hit Bellingham in the knee like a foot away, came back and hit him in the arm, and they gave that. And I was pretty stunned they gave something like that. So I thought they would just give it because it was just handball. I don't think in the Premier League that's necessarily handball. I don't even think the whistle blows necessarily on something like that. But I could go either way on it, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And the Barcelona one, the Real Madrid one, I only seen that briefly, and it's staggering that he's given a penalty there. It's insane.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't believe it. The commentators I was listening to couldn't believe it. I don't think anybody outside of what was happening in the referee's ear could believe that they were given that. It was a crazy one.
Yeah, and then we had, if you remember, a couple of seasons back, we had Odegaard who decided to do a bit of a double dribble, and that wasn't a penalty. It's mental with some of them.
Yeah, it feels like they're just like every referee has a completely different version of what handball is, and they're just on a different page than like everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. Ian, what did you think?
Yeah, no, first of all, it was a great game, to be honest. I wasn't really looking forward to it. I hate Real Madrid like yourself. Still think back to that final where Ramos, he done what he did to Salah, but anyway, we'll talk about that. But, obviously I'm very biased, aren't I? But I just like Joel said about the timeline of taking the decision. That's why I love watching non-league football in person, because literally the ref makes a decision, we move on. So
yeah, you know where you stand straight away, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. There's no VAR. If the lineup puts his flag up, it's offside. We play on. So that's why I love watching that sort of semi-pro game. But anyway, it was a good game. I was going to ask you, Joel, about the. I was at the Villa game on Saturday night when that player was down injured, and then 2 of the Villa players walked over to him, and everyone was shouting to get the game going, but they couldn't because there was like 3 players off the pitch. But that was an absolute shit decision by the ref.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think you can restart it if there's more than 2 off at once.
Yeah. They obviously knew what they were doing, like. But
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely a bit of a gamesmanship going on there.
I was enjoying watching Emery on the sideline as well. As very animated. I think he got booked as well, didn't he? So.
Oh yeah, that was when Soboslai took the ball off, and I think they both got booked.
Yeah, it was good. That enjoyed it.
Bit of needle.
Yeah, few days.
What just make us so slight at the moment? He's playing well, isn't he?
Been one of our best players all season. I was saying to Paul the other day, he's been in every position, full of energy, 90 minutes, consistently turned up, cleaning up after everyone else's mess.
The only thing
The
that
engine
I
room.
don't like about him at times is he empties that midfield sometimes with the press. So if you're playing football and you've got three forwards, you want your three forwards to press the defenders or press the keeper. And sometimes he just empties. If we've got three in midfield and they've got three in midfield, sometimes he just empties that midfield, runs past the forwards to the keeper, and they beat the press. And sometimes it's 3-on-2, isn't it? That's the only thing we'd say. You know, if you're him, I want him to be screaming at the forwards to say to Ekatike or whoever, you know, press the defender, and then he goes on the midfielder. I think sometimes when you watch his game, sometimes for me, he empties sometimes, doesn't he?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Anyone, jump in, Kate. Go for it.
Sorry, I thought it went really quiet and I didn't hear my name there. So, yeah, I can understand that. He's what I would say is he tends to get back, I guess, into those spots when he does vacate and go forward, and I think the wingers are good enough to know to kind of just take a slight step back there. But yeah, he's got to be one of the first names on the sheet every week, and he reminds me of like if you gave Robbo or like maybe like a couple years ago Milner like a ton of attacking talent and put him into one player. That's kind of what Shabo reminds me of. Just endless running, can play anywhere, can still get forward, do the attacking things like a genuine good going forward midfielder, but with miles and miles of energy.
He's a bit like Gerrard, isn't he, the way he's playing at the moment?
Yeah, that's a good comparison too. Yeah.
Yeah, not
Similar style.
Although he should have put that chance away last night. I was cursing him when he missed that one.
Really great save.
That's course all over that, isn't it? He's a brilliant keeper. He is brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's easy to say it's between him, Alisson, and Donnarumma. As the best keepers out there. Courtois Courtois has been at that level for years and years and years, and it's never dropped. I think sometimes he flies under the radar when it comes to really top keepers. Doesn't seem to get the credit that he deserves.
Yeah, Chelsea for a while. Is that where they got him from?
Yeah. Because I think they sold him, if I remember rightly, they got Kepa, and that's what it all said to Ratchet. So, and I guess last one from me is not referee related or decision related. I think it was always going to happen, but what did everyone think about the reception that the Trent got last night?
I think it was. I don't know what you guys think, but I think it was a bit poor myself. I think some Liverpool fans have got short memories that what he's done for the club. Maybe you might think differently, but I always think back to that goal he scored against Leicester. The 2 times he won the league, he scored 2 very important goals. But if I was there, I wouldn't be booing him. Put it that way.
It's the fever, isn't it? It's because he went on a free transfer. I think fans almost feel like they've contributed to his wages over the years or his development or whatever. I think it's that he went for nothing. If he went for 50 million or 80 million or 30, whatever it might be, I think they'd have said best of luck. I think because he's ran his contract down and went for nothing, that's where I think where the bit of a gripe comes in. Because normally ex-players get a good reception, don't they?
Yeah, imagine if Diaz came back, play against us, he'd get a decent reception, wouldn't he? So
Good shout.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit half and half. Like Ian, I'd never boo an ex-player. I just wouldn't do it. I'd never fall into that trap. But I think, as Cole said, it's the way he left and the fact that he always maintained that he's a boyhood supporter. He grew up through there. Look, it's a short career. If he wants to move, it's absolutely his right, and if that's what he wants to do. Kind of look at a bit of comparison with Kanate. Now, we talked a lot about Kanate, about how he's been playing, and a couple of times last night it looked like he was giving the fucking ball straight back to Real Madrid, which pissed everyone off. But I think I've always said if he was going back to PSG, he's never made any kind of. He's never said otherwise about PSG. He would go back to PSG and he would let his contract run down and leave to go to PSG. I've never had a problem with that because he's always said that. But if he leaves and goes to Real Madrid, that's a different kettle of fish, and that's where you then are taking the piss because you're just lying to people, like essentially all lying to the supporters. And I think that's a little bit about what happened with Trent. And when he's done that first press conference, he was fluent in Spanish. You're like, oh, fuck off, mate.
Yeah.
That's
very impressive, that.
His Spanish coach, like he'd obviously been having lessons while he was still going for the league and stuff, and he stepped up on his reveal, and he was fluent. So, yeah. But what I didn't like about the way he left wasn't the fact he left; it was the way he left. Like Cole said, he's run down his contract a little bit. He's left the fans in the lurch a little bit for me. I wouldn't boo him either. I'd be in the middle. I wasn't clapping him on the last game. I wasn't booing him either. It's the manner, isn't it? It's the way he scored and he celebrated doing that. I don't think it was the Leicester one before that. Important goal, yeah, but he made that out to be that was don't listen to the noise. It's all outside noise. I'm staying. But what he was saying was, I've heard the noise from you, the Liverpool fans. Stop talking. That's how I interpreted that. When you look back at it now, and you know he's gone, but at the time you're thinking, all right, he's staying. But he was stringing us along for another couple of months.
Yeah. If I was a better man, I'd say Konate's gone, or he's going to hold the club to ransom a little bit on a big contract anyway. Either way, I don't think it looks good for Liverpool.
Yeah, his head's looked gone the last couple of weeks, but he's stepped up again now. Now we've started performing again.
But you worry, don't you, sometimes with players when they are running the contract down, is that sometimes obviously not as committed are they? So they're worried about getting an injury and ruining that big contract. So that's where you sometimes see a little bit of that come through, don't you? To be fair to Salah and Van Dijk, it didn't happen to them, did it? I thought slot managed that brilliant with them too, but I think with Konate so far this season, maybe by the last game or two, he hasn't been playing well, has he?
I like him. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. The way, probably the wrong word, accentuates the ball sometimes. The way he just drifts out of the defence and then takes over the pitch. You can't really do that at Sunday League level because the pitch is terrible. But you can do it on that carpet of Anfield, like so. I think
you've just got to boost it in Sunday League, haven't you, Ian?
Yeah. I'll stick it out to the wing, go for the best. So yeah, that's my tactic. But, yeah, no, I think like we talked about the Italian lad. He looked good against Southampton. It was only Southampton. They've been shit. I was disappointed that they got rid of Will Still. I think he's a good manager. But
let's get on to a bit of bet and then let's have a preview of the weekend. We've got Kate obviously on with us. Kate, what do you fancy for the weekend? What are your thoughts?
I have 3. First one's in the Liverpool game, under 3.5. I think a lot of what's gone well for Liverpool recently is they've reverted a little bit back to the way we were playing last year. It's less chaotic. I mean, early on in the season, it was very, very open. It was similar to when Klopp first showed up, maybe not as egregiously over the top, and they're not 5-4s, but we were open and we were playing heavy forward and teams were getting at us a little bit. And I thought the last couple of games they've tightened up a little bit there, especially, I mean, Real Madrid in particular, Gravenberch is coming over quite a bit to help out defensively, and we're not letting wingers run, and the midfielders aren't stuck up front and you give the ball away and all of a sudden it's 3v3, 3v2 every time. And City, Rodri's back. They have a habit, if they go ahead in these big games, of just kind of killing them off, passing the ball around, making you chase, and then they move it forward and you think they're going to have a go, and then they move it back again and run it around. So I think there's a world where there aren't a ton of goals here, and it's a little bit less it's a little bit more like what we did against Real Madrid last year. This year, we had City last year. We beat them 2-0 at home. On the road as well, it's just very tight, not a ton going on, and I think that happens in this one. So I like under 3.5 in that one. And then you want me to keep going? I'll just keep going.
Yeah, go on. I agree with that. I think that three midfielders, back to that workman-like three midfielders.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And then I did Everton draw no bet. So if it ends in a tie, you just get your money back. But draw no bet, tie no bet. They're home to Fulham. Been really unimpressed with Fulham, just as a whole. They beat Wolves the other day, but Wolves are a bit of a mess. They're not creating much of anything. And Everton go through these periods where you saw it in the Sunderland game. You go through these periods where they're really, really dominant against some of these teams or in and around them. They went through that Sunderland game, first half hour, Sunderland couldn't get anywhere near them, and then it totally flipped. But they're at home here against a side that don't create much, and Everton are scoring a lot better this year than they have been, or at least creating a lot more than they have been. Good players up front. And Dye might not play this game, but even without, I think they can get a goal here. If they get a goal here at home, I have a hard time seeing them lose the game outright. So Everton draw no bet in that one. And then this one, I'm waiting for I'm hoping the line drifts a little bit my way, but Chelsea money line and plus over 1.5. They're playing Wolves. This game just got played, and Wolves are, I don't know, a mess. New manager, a couple of forwards who are like Strand Larsen's fine, and then everybody else lacks genuine technical ability. The crosses are dreadful. The shooting's dreadful. It's tough to see Chelsea not winning this one. And I think there's a world where Wolves kind of fall apart if Chelsea go ahead early here. So Chelsea and over 1.5.
Excellent. So you think Chelsea will win by more than maybe 1 or 2 goals, is what you thought?
I think they'll score a couple.
Yeah.
And then they only have to win the game outright. It's a bit more of a bet on them to score a couple and just not fall apart, I guess, defensively. Which they're doing right now to Karabag, I think.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? I feel the same about Fulham and about Wolves. Wolves have been terrible so far, haven't they? And obviously they lost Cunha, didn't they, to Man United, who was one of their main players. I don't know if they replaced them, but it doesn't seem like they did from what you're watching.
No, not with anything good. Cunha's funny because I don't think Cunha's a really talented player, and Cunha can make a lot out of nothing. But Cunha in a really bad team does a lot of pouting and kind of walking around and stuff like that. But he'd get the ball sometimes for Wolves and just have a go. Like if he'll stand around, do nothing, no defensive stuff, and then he'll pick the ball up and be like, "Oh, I'll have a run," and then it came out in a goal like once every 3 goes, and it would save them quite a bit. But they have nothing there. The managerial thing is a bit weird. They're gonna have an interim here, I think. They tried to sign back O'Neill and then saw some of the pushback and then just cut that deal, which is crazy. So everything is going very much wrong over there. So.
Yeah, it's strange. And they offered or they gave him, didn't they, the Wolves manager a new contract, didn't he? And then sacked him a couple of weeks later.
Yeah, that was crazy too. That was such weird timing for a team. This happens all the time where a new manager will come into a team that's not doing very well and underperforming, and they're like in that bottom 3 or 4, and then they work their way out and win a couple games against teams that are kind of on the beach late, and then everybody in management overreacts, and then it just kind of comes back down to normal a little bit, and then they overreact again and fire everybody, and it's bad clubs do bad things.
Yeah, they panic a little bit, don't they, I think, as well, Case? Now, like that,
Yeah.
So just to summarise, maybe a treble or a parlay, as you call it in America, or an apple in the UK. So, under 3.5 goals in the Liverpool game. Everton draw or win, or draw no bet, depending what way you look at it. And Chelsea to win and over 1.5 goals, so to win by a goal or 2. Is that right, Alan?
Yeah, over 1.5 just means over 1.5 in the game. So it could be 2-1 to Chelsea, and that gets there.
Brilliant, excellent. Love that. We'll take that. Thank you very much, Kurt. Anything else betting wise, Kurt? Anything else? What you think? People?
Not for me. The United game is really interesting. Tottenham are weird. I don't think they're playing particularly well, but they keep pulling results out and keep, scoring on these weird chances, set piece stuff. But I don't think super, super highly of United either. So that'll be an interesting one.
Did you see Van de Ven's goal last night?
Yeah, he has to be the only center back on the planet who can score a goal like that. He's so quick and he's incredibly talented. I wish he'd come to Liverpool. If Kanate leaves, I'd take him. Just send a bid in.
We spoke a while back saying we wanted him ahead, for Van Dijk as a replacement because he's got all the attributes. He can pass it, he can run, he's quick, he's good in the air. He probably just gets a few injuries. That's the only thing with him, but he's brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, he's really, really good. But yeah, really great goal. Really great goal.
No, really good treble. Thank you, Kurt. We'll take that and we'll put that on as well. Brilliant. But listen, let's talk a little bit about music then. We've got Ian Tinsley, Soft Lab Promotions, Mr. T on. Good to see you. Before we talk music, what happened to the football, your Sunday League team, Ian, the other week? So last time we spoke, you said you were near the top of the league. You were playing someone near the bottom. We were talking about squads and having a big squad. And I asked you, was you going to rotate the squad? And I think you wanted to play a winning team, but did you rotate it?
Yeah, so we, I think 2 or 3 lads made the debut, which was great to see. One of them came on with like 20 minutes to go and won the corner and then scored off the corner. So I was absolutely over the moon for him because he's a really great lad as well. So yeah, we won that game 12-0. So that was awesome. Clean sheet for our young 17-year-old keeper, Joe Lango. I think he watches the pod. So yeah, well done, Joe. And then to be fair, the opposition, they weren't great, but they never gave up. And they were really good lads. So I spoke to their captain at the end of the game and said, they are getting battered every week. But I look back on Sunday just gone and they beat a team in our league 3-2. So I was happy for them. So yeah, and then we were about third at that point, and then we played a team on Sunday just gone who beat us in the cup 3-2. We were missing a few players that day, and the ref was a bit dodgy. He was laughing and joking with their manager most of the game, which is joys of Sunday League. And we won 2-0, so we're top of the league now. So
nice.
We've got to stay there, mate. That's the thing. There's no point. Celebrated that win a lot on Sunday because it was massive, but we're away this Sunday.
So anyone looking for some local footy then, so this weekend or the next couple of weekends, if anyone wants to watch a local game for free, where you're at, where are you playing? Tell us.
We're in, I'll put it on the, obviously the chat. We're in Standish, 2:30 kickoff. That's the only thing. I don't know why they picked 2:30. So maybe it's the only time they can get the pitch, but playing in Standish, so I'll be going to the pub straight after to watch the City game. But yeah, there isn't that many crap teams in the league. Maybe 1 or 2, possibly 3. The rest will be challenging for like top 6. So now we're at the top with the game in hand. We just need to, easy for me to say, but just stay there. So
there you go. Yeah. So it's where for watching you're doing it on another Sunday, Ian, yeah?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely.
Yeah, love it, mate. But go on, sorry.
No, I was just saying. One of the lads just described me as a half of Neil Warnock and half of Pep Guardiola, so I'm quite like that one. So yeah, it's good.
Which one are you closer to?
Probably Warnock, to be honest. yeah.
Feeny, I reckon we turn up and video Ian on the line.
Yeah, I'll be on my best behaviour. I'll let you know when the next couple are.
Yeah, have you got the tech, Feeny? Can we do that?
We can certainly just put a phone in his face and just see what happens. So, or we'll get Joel to bring one of the cameras that they have now on the pitches to what video the whole match. So yeah, we'll get it sorted.
Yeah,
can you get one of them, Joel, for us?
I probably know someone who's got one. Yeah.
Let's get a video on Ian Cam. Brilliant.
That'd be good.
I'm down at Nichols on Saturday as well. Feeny, if you're around, 1:15 kickoff.
Oh, sounds. I'll probably throw my head over here. I'll only be probably doing fucking DIY in the house. So
yeah, give me some stick.
Ian, then let's talk a little bit about music. Who is worth getting on the playlist this
Yeah,
weekend?
as well, as always, got something new for you. I listened to a band. I'm saying I'm late to the party with this band. They're called the Royston Club. I've been hearing about them for a couple of years now. They've actually got 2 albums out. They're originally from Wrexham, but they're based in Liverpool. They're signed to Modern Sky, which is a Liverpool-based label. He is the guy behind lots of other bands like Coral, that sort of thing. But Dave Picciolinghi, really nice guy. He looks after Brooke Coombe as well, the Coral, a few others. But yeah, they're called the Royston Club. Just really good, worth checking out. I've not seen them live yet. They're on my list to see, but they've got an acoustic track version of A Patch Where Nothing Grows. I think we shared it in the chat. Really good. And there's a tune called Carry Out on the second album, I think it is. But yeah, definitely worth checking out if you like your strong indie. And then I picked a local band from Widnes called Sifter. They're named after, I believe, the record shop in Manchester where Liam and Noel used to go, Mr. Sifter's. So they're named after them, but they had a bit of a break. They were looking for a drummer. They've got a new drummer coming out. So Harry, the lead singer, I've known him for probably must be coming up for 10 years now. But yeah, great lead singer. They've got some great songs as well. So they're going to be doing a Christmas gig at some point soon. So I'm just waiting to hear on that one. And then
was that the clip what we showed as well? I think.
Yeah, it's on a rooftop.
On the rooftop with Liverpool in the background, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a place in Liverpool. So yeah, really good guy, Harry. And then I've discovered, if you like the Streets, Jamie T, Frankie Stew, Harvey Gunn sort of thing, they are called, just got on some today, Good Health, Good Wealth, and their tune is called Beautiful Boy. So I'll put it in the chat. I just think it's a bit like spoken word, a bit like the Streets, but yeah, definitely worth checking out.
Brilliant as always. And someone we've mentioned quite often on the podcast, I think someone Tom Collins. I've seen a little bit on Instagram there. He's touring with Jamie Webster, is he?
Yeah, honestly, really happy for him because he's a good lad. And as I said before, I've bigged him up a few times, but whenever he's done gigs with us, he proper pushes it on the socials where a lot of bands just put it out once and maybe on the day or the week if they're actually playing. But yeah, no, he went to a writing camp in Spain with Jamie Webster, and Jamie Webster helped him wrote a song, and now he's going on tour with him. So over the moon for him. Really good guy, Liverpool fan as well. So he said he'd definitely come on the pod at some point, but he seems to be a busy man. But yeah, Tom Collins, definitely check him out.
Yeah, I liked as well. Looked on his Instagram as well. I like he's put 1 or 2 songs out, but he's explained the songs as well. He's talking about the songs and saying why he's doing the songs and what there's a little bit of storytelling going on with him.
Yeah. Just going off subject slightly, I thought of possibly a new topic we can discuss with yourself and Mr. Feeney and would like to think about. I was thinking like maybe we could do like pub or bar recommendations, maybe in like local areas. So a guy I used to do a bit of DJing for in Chester's got a bar called the Flat Earth Bar, which is opposite the church in Chester, if you know it. My daughter went the other day and kindly got me a beer mat. But yeah, that was just an idea I had, so you can cut that bit out, obviously, if you want. But I just thought, because everyone knows my favourite pub in Liverpool is the Dispensary, and everyone who goes in there, I've walked past it 100 times before, but never actually been in. So
maybe the podcast goes on tour. If we get some rooms and get the technology, maybe we take it to a few venues and give it a try.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's been into the Pilgrim since it's reopened on Pilgrim Street.
Not yet, no. It's another one of Mr. Gutman's creations, isn't it? So yeah, he's taking over the Liverpool Wales, isn't he? But open invite, boys. Me and Joel, we're going to the Whittle Beer Festival on 15th of November. This is the Christmas night out. We're going over there 11 till 5. Going to smash its head right in, and then have a motion downtown around some of the boozers. So you're all welcome, Kurt.
Whereabouts in
by all
the
means.
Peninsula, is it, mate?
Port Sunlight.
Okay. Is there a train station nearby?
Right by it. So yeah, that's we've been talking about this. One of the lads wants to get the ferry over, and apparently from the ferry station, it's quicker to go back over to Liverpool and get the train to Port Sunlight than it is to actually get there from the ferry station. So yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. But yeah, it's little the town hall in Port Sunlight. I think it's Chip and Mitre that do it. Big boozer in town. So yeah, they do it every year. So we're going over. There's tons and tons of different beers. Joel and I were having a look at the set list the other day, and it's just I go every year. It's a cracking one to do. And we'll probably stagger it back over to Liverpool around about 5 o'clock, well oiled, and we'll see what boozers finds us.
Days. You out, Mr. Murphy, or are you?
I'll check my calendar. I might make an appearance. Yeah, absolutely.
I know you're a busy man.
I was just thinking when he was saying that, and I was just trying to picture the podcast getting different venues and different pubs, and I was thinking we'd need a virtual Kurt, wouldn't we? We'll need a telly for Kurt to have Kurt on when we all sit on the seats and do the podcast. Let's have Kurt on the telly. One more thing I want to mention.
Yeah.
What was it called? Neighbourhoods Weekends. I think some of the
yeah. Do you know what? I was so happy again. You know, I'm a man of simple pleasures, as you know, but the lineup, just got it on my phone now. It's just, well, one, obviously, to see the Cheap Thrills on there, who I've known since 2013. Who else is on there? Love Cat. I know her. He's from. Her name's Sophie. She's doing really well. Bro Gill, who we mentioned on the podcast. They're playing in Liverpool the next couple of weeks at the Arts Club, so definitely worth checking them out. But just some good bands on there. Brooke Coombe as well. She's awesome. Who else is on there? Villanelle, which is Liam Gallagher's son's band. Obviously, it helps when your dad's Liam Gallagher. That's what they're playing as well. So, no, really good lineup, mate. I'm tempted to go the Richard Ashcroft one, but not really a big fan of Kaiser Chiefs, I'll be honest. I don't know what everyone else thinks.
Great session as always, lads, and always good to catch up. Any other business anyone else want to mention anything?
I think of it off the top of my head. Apart from the November Beer Festival, we should have a few maybe Friday evening beers before Christmas as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Just in a dispensary and eat bags of potato and drink lots of Irish crisps, Irish beers, whatever. So
I think they're selling Murphy's now in the dispensary. I'm sure I've seen something on.
They got Beamish Murphy's and Guinness. Yeah.
I've got one more thing I want to talk about, Mr. Feeney. I want to talk about I want to talk about your side hustle. You bid on the side, your side salad. So people might know this, but Feeney's a bit of a gamer, aren't you?
Hell yeah.
What are you going to say something else then? He's a bit of a... It was a slight delay, a bit of a game.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
I do know where you're going with it, yeah.
So on his gaming site, what he has. So Feeney has a gaming site, he's a bit of a gamer. And he pops on the group recently saying, I've made it. Look who I've had a like off. Who did you get a like off, Feeney?
Fucking Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker liked my post.
The original
life achievements.
Mark Hamill, wasn't it? That the Master Jedi himself, Luke Skywalker. So I done a bit of research when you put this on. So I had a little look. And it turns out, what team does he support?
Donny the Reds, isn't it?
Yeah, Liverpool. But there's a little bit of controversy in there because apparently he also supports Wolves, and there's a little bit of a debate whether he supports Liverpool or support Wolves. So I think as one of the tasks we need to set you is we need you to message him to try and get him on the podcast.
Not going to happen with me, Carl. Never meet your heroes. I've said this. I've told you this. Never meet your heroes because I'll just get shot down and just never ever do it. I remember seeing Ian Rush in a boozer in Chester one time, and I couldn't go and say hello because again, just don't meet your heroes. Couldn't do it.
I've met Mr. Paul Weller about a week before my son was born, so he's 16 now, and he was an absolute legend. So
yeah. So would you say to meet your heroes then, Ian?
Definitely, mate. Because I've only met Paul Weller, and I think the only other person I met was Martin Skirtle many years ago. So I don't meet many famous people in there. But yeah, I'd say definitely.
Are you encouraging Paul to message Luke Skywalker?
Yeah. I'm not a very big Star Wars fan, but yeah, definitely, mate. I'm sure it'd be good for the pod. Definitely.
Keith, what do you think about Paul messaging Luke Skywalker? Do you think he should message him?
Yeah, have a go, I guess. I haven't had enough experience meeting famous people and having negative experiences, so why not have a go?
Joel, what do you think? Should he message him?
Why not? Shoot your shot.
Joel's always going to say that. Fucking hell.
He's only going to say no, isn't he?
Yeah, so there you
That's
go.
the problem.
The task is being set. He'd probably say no or ignore it anyway. If you worry about it if he says yes, so you need to message him, yeah?
See how we go. We'll see how we go.
Go on, gents. So listen, let's get off then. But great night again, and thanks everyone.